For 3,000 years, while European kingdoms built walls of stone, Chinese dynasties built something else. Walls of teeth and muscle, bred in isolation across the harshest terrain on Earth. Tibetan monasteries, Sichuan mountain villages, Shandong farmsteads, Manchurian border posts. Each region solved the same problem. How do you protect livestock, property, and people from wolves, bandits, and leopards with a completely different animal, shaped by whatever the local landscape and local enemies demanded? This is the story of China's guard dogs. 6 breeds, 6 regions, 6 solutions to the same ancient problem. And for most of the 20th century, almost none of them left the country. Sealed off not by choice, but by geography, war, and decades of political isolation that kept Western breeders and buyers out entirely. Number 1. The Tibetan Mastiff. The Tibetan Plateau, average elevation over 4,000 meters, where nomadic herders have kept massive, thick-coated dogs for at least 2,000 years. Some genetic studies push the lineages split from wolves back tens of thousands of years, with high-altitude adaptation baked directly into the breed's physiology. Chained at the edges of encampments by night, loose by day, these dogs drove off snow leopards and wolves from yak and sheep herds. Monasteries used them the same way, living perimeter alarms for isolated communities that might not see another visitor for weeks at a time. Males commonly reach 45 to 72 kilograms, with a double coat built for temperatures below -30 Celsius. Temperament is independent and watchful rather than aggressive. A dog bred to make its own decisions about threats, because for most of history, no shepherd was standing over it. And a dog that waited for instructions on a mountainside at night was a dog that got its herd killed. That same independence made one sell for a reported $1.5 million in 2011, during a speculative breeding boom that later collapsed as quickly as it had inflated. Number 2. The Chongqing Dog. Southeast, into the Sichuan Basin. The Chongqing Dog is short-haired, wrinkled, wedge-headed, with a documented history stretching back over 2,000 years. Sculptures resembling the breed appear in Han Dynasty tombs, suggesting a type that was already recognizable and valued long before written breed standards existed anywhere in the world. Not a livestock guardian. A hunting and property guarding breed tied to farming communities and later to rural military and police patrols. Compact and dense at 20 to 25 kilograms, with a bite reputation that made it feared as a fighting dog in some regions. Fiercely loyal to one family, often hostile to strangers and other dogs, a narrow, hard bond that made it an excellent single property guardian, and a difficult breed to place elsewhere. Restricted dog ownership through the mid-20th century pushed the breed near collapse. It remains rare even today, with population estimates still measured in the low thousands worldwide. Number 3. The Chow Chow. Everyone knows the blue-black tongue and lion's mane. Almost nobody connects the Chow Chow to guarding work. Before it became a fixture of Tang and Song dynasty aristocratic households, it worked. Archaeological evidence places Chow-like dogs in northern China as far back as 2,000 years, hunting, pulling, and guarding temples and estates long before it was ever a lapdog for the wealthy. At 20 to 32 kilograms, stocky and dense-coated, with an unusually stiff, straight-legged gait, the Chow was built for northern winters and outdoor sentry duty. Temperament is famously aloof, reserved with strangers, territorial without being noisy about it. A dog that alerted only when necessary was more valuable in imperial China than one that barked at everything, and that quiet discernment is part of why it was trusted at temple gates rather than chained to a post. Number 4. The Laizhou Hong. From the Shandong Peninsula comes a breed most Western viewers have never heard of, the Laizhou Hong, or Chinese Red Dog. Bred by farming villages along the Laizhou Bay coast, this is a working generalist, herding, hunting, and guarding property against thieves and wolves alike, with a history local breeders trace back centuries, though far less formal documentation exists than for the Mastiff or the Chow, largely because it never attracted imperial or aristocratic patronage. The Laizhou Hong is defined by its solid reddish coat, and a build closer to a hunting dog than a heavyweight guardian. Fast, agile, and tireless, rather than simply large and imposing. Temperament: bold, alert, and highly territorial, with a strong prey drive inherited from its dual role as hunter and guard. It bonds tightly with its handler and treats unfamiliar people and animals with open suspicion. Unlike the Tibetan Mastiff's slow, independent watchfulness, the Laizhou Hong tends toward faster, more reactive alerting. A village dog built to raise the alarm the instant something crossed the tree line, giving farmers precious extra seconds to react. Number 5. The Kunming Wolf Dog. Unlike every breed so far, the Kunming Wolf Dog isn't ancient. It's a 20th century creation. Developed by the Chinese military beginning in the 1950s, breeders crossed German shepherds with local wolf-like dogs from the Kunming region of Yunnan province, aiming for a working dog suited to Chinese conditions and available without importing foreign stock during a period of political isolation, when relying on Western breeds simply wasn't a realistic option. The result, standardized by the 1970s, sits at 25 to 34 kilograms, leaner and more wolf-shaped than a German shepherd, with a straighter back and sharper features. It became the standard service dog of the People's Liberation Army and Chinese police, used for tracking, patrol, and detection work, not household guarding. Temperament: highly trainable, driven, and alert. Closer in working style to a European service dog than to China's older regional guardians. A reminder that not every entry on this list is a product of ancient isolation. Some were built to order on a government timeline to solve a very specific modern problem. Number 6. The Shar-Pei. Back to Guangdong province and the wrinkled Shar-Pei. Village records place its origins in southern farming communities, where it worked triple duty: herding, hunting small game, and guarding property. And in some documented cases, organized dogfighting. Its loose skin theorized to have offered some defense against a grabbing opponent by giving the dog room to twist free. Smaller than most on this list, 18 to 29 kilograms but powerfully built, the Shar-Pei nearly went extinct in the mid-20th century. Some estimates put the surviving global population at only a few thousand by the 1970s, rebuilt largely through breeders in Hong Kong and the United States who recognized how close the breed had come to disappearing entirely. Temperament: intelligent, independent, and protective, but historically wary. The same traits that made it a useful village guardian make it a breed that needs firm, early socialization today. What connects a 70-kilogram mountain mastiff, a military-engineered wolf dog, and a wrinkled southern farm guardian isn't appearance? None of these 6 breeds look remotely alike. What connects them is function under isolation, whether that isolation was geographic, political, or both, and the fact that each one was left alone long enough to become exactly what its region needed. The West is only now discovering breeds China spent 2 millennia perfecting, and in the Kunming wolf dog's case, built from scratch within living memory. So, the question worth sitting with is this: if a modern nation-state can still engineer an entirely new working breed in a few decades, how many more solutions like it are sitting outside the spotlight, waiting for the rest of the world to notice?